Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. Today, we run down the action for the NFL's Week 3 slate of football. Ton of good games on Sunday. That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up Podcast. You know where to find us. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to your podcast. We're there. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share. Just search Drafted Up Podcast. Do all that stuff. We appreciate the support. Nicholas, how are you doing this fine Thursday evening?
Doing good, man. Got the Bills game on in the background because we're recording a little bit later today. So just watching football, ready to talk about Week 3. A lot of good matchups, a lot of good fantasy stuff going on. Hopefully people are 2-0. It's a lot prettier than 0-2 for sure. So
yeah.
It's a little too early to panic, though. I'm feeling it in some leagues. I don't think I'm 0-2. I think I'm only 0-2 in one league, and it's honestly our listener league. It's the only league I do not have a dub in yet.
Yeah.
So.
I'm 1-1 in the listener league. I'm 0-2 in our home league. But I'm 2-0 in the money league, so I guess there's some glimpse of hope in my big money league, so I will take that. But yeah, ton of good action this week in the NFL and college football as well. Your Hurricanes are playing the Gators, Indiana and Illinois.
I'm excited.
So we'll do some. We'll go more in depth on college on Tuesday. We'll come in with the prospect spotlight series. But let's get into our plays of the week, and then we'll jump into the Week 3 slate of games. Week 2, I don't even want to talk about it. My plays of the week. I'm so sorry if you listen to me and we're banking on these guys because they did not do well. Justin Herbert, your quarterback play of the week last week, nearly outscored all 4 of my guys. So
Herbert, love it.
Your squad of 4 put up 68.38, which is a 22-point increase from week 1 for you. I went down 18 points. My team scored a nice 28.84 points.
Ooh.
My 4 dudes did not do good, but I am coming in hot this week. I'm feeling good, and I'll start off our dubby plays of the week. Dubby energy. Get that dub. Eat that dub, as Nick would say. Be better with Dubby energy. Good, clean energy. No dyes, no artificial flavors, none of that stuff. It's good, clean, jitterless energy. Check them out. Download the app, Dubby on your app store, Dubby.gg for the website. Use the code DRAFTEDUP, and you'll get a cool 10% discount anytime you use that code. I'll kick it off here with our Dubby play of the week. My quarterback, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys against the Chicago Bears. Going on the road, the Bears' defense has been abysmal against quarterbacks. Jared Goff just hung a 5-er on him. J.J. McCarthy, 3 total touchdowns against the Bears in week 1. So 8 quarterback touchdowns, a cumulative here for the first 2 weeks. Dak Prescott, when you get him a good, clean pocket, he is money. And the Bears, they're just not generating pressure right now. So things are looking up. Dak is a high over-under. It's the second highest of the week. A ton of points should be scored in this game. So I really love Dak Prescott. I'm locking him as a top 5 to 7 play this week at the quarterback position. The utmost confidence in him and the Cowboys offense. He's looked great this year. So I expect the pieces in Dallas to cook against the Bears on Sunday.
Yeah, I like Dak a lot this week. I agree. My quarterback of the week is Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love. They're playing at Cleveland this week. So typically Cleveland, great defense. I get it. It's a bad matchup, quote for quote. But the way Cleveland works is they're going to stop Josh Jacobs. They stop Derrick Henry. They're most likely going to stop Josh Jacobs. So be worried about Josh Jacobs. Still start him because he's Josh Jacobs. I wouldn't bench him. I'm playing him in a couple leagues. I have him. But I honestly think they're going to stop him for the most part, and Jordan Love's going to have to pass to get this game done. They're heavy favorites, so I get the worry that they're going to go up early and then they might coast. But Cleveland hung in there for 3 of the 4 quarters versus Baltimore. It was a lot closer than the score until Baltimore really started to pull away. Cleveland's got a really good defense, so I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than people think it's going to be, but Green Bay's obviously going to handle Cleveland. But I think it's going to be through the air, and I think it's going to be Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft, Romeo Doubs, Wicks probably. I think he's going to be the number 2 target come the receivers with Reed hurt.
Keep an eye on Tucker Kraft, though. He got banged up. It was questionable today at practice. They switched him.
Yeah.
But he is going to be okay, but there is the chance he does miss this week.
Yeah, for sure. And if he does, it does take a little bit of hit. But Luke Musgraves, he'll get the job done. He's a decent tight end. He's not Tucker Kraft, but he's still a decent option out there. But I really like Jordan Love a lot this week. He's been a near top 12 quarterback each week. He was 13 last week, and I think like 16 or 17 the week before that. So right on the outside. But he's got 4 touchdowns on the year, no interceptions, doesn't turn the ball over. He's playing really clean, had near 300 yards last week. So I think Jordan Love in line to cook again this week versus Cleveland.
I like that a lot. I have a lot of stake in Jordan Love. He is my money league quarterback. So
hell yeah.
It gives me some nice confidence because I'm teetering between him and Jared Goff after that big 5 touchdown week.
Both those, man. Cause man, I looked at Goff to be my start of the week too. So I don't think you can go wrong in either matchup. I think Goff's going to be slinging it a lot. So
my
honestly
sway,
toss a coin.
My sway was I have Tucker Kraft, so I went with the stack there.
Okay, reasonable.
Right,
yeah,
running back plays of the week. I'm going with Minnesota Viking Jordan Mason at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Aaron Jones on IR. He's not going to be in this game. The Vikings brought back Cam Akers. He's not going to really have a role right off the bat. I know he's got familiarity with the offense. He's been there off and on the last 2 years. And then Xavier Scott's the other running back. None of these guys are eating into Jordan Mason's share. When Jordan Mason was the RB1 in San Francisco last year when Christian McCaffrey was out, he was a top 12 running back week in and week out, and that was without a passing workload. As much as Minnesota wants to run 2 running backs, it never works in their favor, and now they're back to one viable option at the running back position. Kevin O'Connell has the utmost faith in Jordan Mason. He's been raving about him, saying he could be the bell cow back. Christian Darrisaw, our all-pro left tackle, should be back this week. So the line's starting to get healthy. Carson Wentz, the quarterback of this week, he's going to have to rely on the running game. Cincinnati, terrible against running backs. Travis Etienne ripped them up last week. So did Bayshaw Tootin. So did Dylan Sampson the week before that, week 1 for Cleveland. So Jordan Mason in line for a game where Minnesota needs him desperately against a team who can't stop the run. So I love Jordan Mason. If he worried you last week after a dud performance, don't let that fret away from what he can do this week as the guy for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think Mason's in line to have a huge bounce back week. I totally agree. Man, I'm really nervous to do this. My running back of the week is Javonte Williams, Dallas Cowboys running back. All off season, I was in on Javonte where he was getting drafted. I thought he was going to be the bell cow back, and people were like, "Oh, it might be Jaden Blue, it might be Miles Sanders." It hasn't been anyone. It's been Javonte Williams. He's been that guy. He's been a top 5 back each week so far. I think he's like RB2 or 3 on the year, 3 touchdowns on the year. And last week he was really involved in the receiving game. 7 targets, brought in 6 of them. If they're willing to keep giving him the passing work, I look at Javonte as a locked starter, even in the running back spot. I think he's an RB2 guaranteed for the most part going forward. All offseason, we're like, oh, we love Dak, we love George Pickens, we love CD because there's no run game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a run game in Dallas, man, and it's Javonte Williams. He's not Javonte like he was his rookie year. I get that. He's not quick, he's not explosive, but he has all of the volume in Dallas, and that's what we want. And it's not pretty, it's not gorgeous or anything, but man, Javonte Williams has been locked and loaded the last 2 weeks. He's at Cleveland, or no, he's at Chicago, I'm sorry, in a game I really like the over-under on. It's above 50, I think, or around 50. Mm-hmm. So the scoring books think this is going to be a high-powered scoring game. And if Dallas is scoring, they've showed that it's Javonte Williams. CD doesn't have any touchdowns on the year. Javonte Williams has 3. So if I had to put money on a Cowboys scoring a touchdown, it would be Javonte Williams, just based off how the season's going. Obviously, CD's going to start getting his touchdowns. So is Dak. Maybe Jake Ferguson at some point. George Pickens as well. But
Jake Ferguson ain't never getting a touchdown.
but I think the way the season's going is Javonte Williams is just in line to be just a really consistent running back. He's going to really prove that he was worth that really late round pick in fantasy. So anyone that draft him, I would just hold him at this point. You're not going to get the value that Javonte's giving you so far. So I'm willing to ride Javonte Williams until he fucking dies this year, dude.
Yeah, Jadon Blue still inactive, like healthy scratches. Miles Sanders not getting involved. My biggest worry for Javonte and just the Cowboys offense in general is Cooper Beebe, their starting center, is going to be out for
like extended, 6 to 8 weeks.
Extended time. So we'll see how that goes running it up the middle there for the Cowboys. We'll stay in that same game. My wide receiver started play of the week. I'm giving you some confidence, guys. DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears against the Cowboys. DJ Moore, he's been fine this year, but he hasn't been anyone that got you excited. He's probably been a person you kind of teetered thinking about starting in your flex in and out. But the Cowboys, look what Russell Wilson and crew did to this defense last week. Russell Wilson had 450 yards passing, 270 deep air yards. DJ Moore could stretch the field. DJ Moore can also work on the underneath. Think of him as the Wan'Dale Robinson, what Wan'Dale did to the Cowboys last week. He plays that similar role. He can move around for Ben Johnson. He's pretty much their backup running back as well. So there's opportunities for carries there for him, but this should be a high scoring game. Like you said, the over under is at 50.5. This, Vegas expects both teams to be scoring here. So I'm giving you the confidence to go out there, keep DJ Moore locked in their lineup. Yeah, he should be in line for 100 yards this week for the Bears. Cowboys are just, they're not stopping anybody through the air. Wan'Dale Robinson ripped him up for over 100. So did Malik Neighbors. Obviously, Philadelphia didn't, but that's a different story. Their passing attack is its own question. But I think you can go in confidently with DJ Moore, despite the question marks coming in where he's just been okay the first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But I think we're in line for the big DJ Moore week against the Cowboys.
Well, we might as well stick it to that game, because if the Giants' 2 wide receivers can go off and kill Dallas, I don't see why the Bears' 2 wide receivers can't, because my wide receiver start of the week is Rome Odunze, Chicago Bears wide receiver, versus Dallas this week in Chicago. He is the number one option in this offense target-wise. 9 targets week 1, 11 targets week 2. Brought in 7 of them last week for 128 and 2 tutties. 3 touchdowns on the year, a touchdown every game. He's killing it so far. Him and Caleb Williams have this connection. I haven't been high on Caleb Williams at all this season, but he has been able to get Rome the ball, and that's all I'm asking for. Dallas's defense cannot stop the deep ball, and Rome can stretch a defense. So can DJ Moore. I fully expect both these guys to go off. I'm all in on Rome going forward. Dynasty leagues, redraft leagues. He is the Rome Odunze that I thought coming out of college. I'm so happy that he's shining now. His rookie season was good. It was really good. Way better real football than fantasy football. But he's here to stay, dude. Rome going forward is an automatic lock in my eyes in lineups. He was wide receiver 4 last week and played 100% of snaps, played 94% of snaps week 1. He's always on the field in a game that's going to be around 50 points, according to Vegas. So give me Rome, give me DJ Moore, give me Javonte Williams. Give me them all, baby. Give me Dak. A lot of start of the weeks from this game, for sure.
Yeah, we really hit that with that.
We're hitting this game hard, for sure.
Yep. Final play of the week, tight end. I'm going with Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions on the road against Baltimore on Monday night. Laporta, where you drafted him, you've probably not been happy about it. But if you listen to the show, you would know that we weren't thrilled where Sam Laporta was going in drafts. It wasn't worth it with the amount of talent at wide receiver, running back available when you were have to take him. But, last week they scored the 5 touchdowns and it wasn't a Sam Laporta game. These stretches happen, and then usually after a game where he's not overly involved, he has that breakout. He's got 9 catches on the year already, 105 yards. He just hasn't gotten in the end zone. Baltimore, Njoku had 5 grabs. Harold Fannin had 5 grabs. Dalton Kincaid scored a touchdown week 1 against the Ravens. So they're giving up points to the tight end position. I think you could go in comfortably. I know Sam Laporta hasn't been where you drafted him, what you want him to be. But I think this is the week where Sam Laporta, we see that big breakout. This happened last year as well. He started slow, and then right around this time, week 3, week 4, week 5, Sam Laporta bursted back in, got into the end zone, and I expect that to happen here against Baltimore in another game that should be a huge shootout. Over-under set at 53.5. I like Laporta this week against the Ravens.
I like that a lot, and oh, man, my tight end of the week this is where you might get me. I'm giving you a lot of leeway here. It's a guy that has been straight up disappointment week 1, week 2. I thought he was going to start hot as hell because of the suspension, the Jordan Addison. It's tight end TJ Hawkinson of the Minnesota Vikings. His quarterback this week is Carson Wentz, and that's the only thing that I'm basing this off of. Zach Ertz in Philadelphia, 4 out of the 5 years that Wentz was his quarterback, finished as a top 6 or above tight end. He finished tight end 6, tight end 3, tight end 2, tight end 4. And then that 5th year is the year Jalen Hurts took Carson Wentz's job. So it wasn't even Carson Wentz all year. Zach Ertz got hurt. So that's not even like in the picture for me. So 5 out of the 5 years, Carson Wentz threw to the tight end, the number one option. Obviously, that's not going to happen because he's got Justin Jefferson. But I fully expect TJ Hawkinson to be that number 2 target again in this offense that I fully expect to not be good, but we've proven that Kevin O'Connell can throw in any quarterback, not off the street, but off a practice squad, off another team without knowing the playbook. I think Carson Wentz is going to be fine, so I fully expect TJ Hawkinson to be reliable this week. I don't expect him to be great, but if you drafted TJ Hawkinson, you drafted him around the part where Laporta got drafted, so it went way too early, but this is the week I'm willing to give TJ Hawkinson. If he doesn't produce this week, we can move off from him, but I do think this is going to be the best game he's had all season, and that's not saying much because he's been a bit of a disappointment, but I think he's going to be looking at 5-6 catches, 40 yards, and maybe, just maybe, Carson Wentz can get him a touchdown. And if he does, man, we are looking pretty. But
TJ Hawkinson hasn't had a touchdown since 2023.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. And he's been injured. He's been injured a lot in that time. Yeah. So we got to give him a little bit of a leeway. But he is looking rough, but I'm giving people a little bit of confidence that he's got a quarterback that always checks down to the tight end this week. So just hope it's Carson Wentz of old, and he's looking at TJ Hawkinson this week. So
it also helps
a risky one.
No Aaron Jones,
for
so
sure.
There's no check down option at the running game consistently. Like Jordan Mason's career high in targets in a game
it's not going to be him. Yeah.
And Addison's not there, so the door is open here for TJ Hawkinson, who's only on the year 7 targets. He could beat that on Sunday. He's got 4 catches.
I agree. He could beat that too
for 27 yards.
Yeah, I'm getting real risky here. I'm sorry if this fails people because it's prone to fail, but
it's more you giving us the confidence to keep TJ Hawkinson in our lineup and not scour the market for a guy like Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith or Cade Otton to try to plug in that situation. So no, I like that. Hawkinson was actually my backup option behind Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I really didn't have many backups options. Like Zach Ertz maybe, but if Jaden Daniels doesn't play because of the knee injury, I don't know if Mariota's going to be looking in Zach Ertz's way. So
his 2 games with Mariota, we'll get to that when we talk about the Commanders. But there we go. Those are our Dubby Energy plays of the week. Dak Prescott, Jordan Mason, DJ Moore, Sam Laporta for me, Nick with Jordan Love, Javonte Williams, Roma Dunze, TJ Hawkinson. One of us is going to eat that dub this week. I hope it's me. I'm in need of some good fortune on my end. So use the code Drafted Up over at W Energy. Get yourself some good clean energy. They got merch as well. They also have non-energy drinks. So
hydration.
Yeah.
What?
They just make it thirstier. Yeah, just got to drink more Dubby. Good clean energy. Salt. Yeah, just eat that dub. Be better. W Energy. All right, let's go. Let's jump right into week 3. I almost said week 1.
Dude, I wish it was week 1 again, dude. Football goes so fast. It's already week 3 in the blink of an eye, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, it's week 3. We're a quarter of the way through the college season as well. They're going on to week 4, which week 5 technically because they have that week 0 nonsense. But all right, the Green Bay Packers travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Packers are Vegas line 8.5-point road favorites and over under of 41.5. So your
pump it up.
Play of the week, Jordan Love. I like that. I think Jordan Love is in line to be a QB1 this week, a top 12 finisher. Josh Jacobs, he's questionable, but he's going to be out there. He's going to play, but you kind of temper your expectations. And like you said, Derrick Henry, this Browns defense shut him down. And they also shut down Chase Brown week 1. So it's tough to run on Cleveland, but it's tough to pull Josh Jacobs from your lineup. He's not exactly a guy you can just pull out and be like, I could put Josh Jacobs on my bench this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's so hard to bench Josh Jacobs, dude. I would hate to do that.
Would you play ETN over him if you had both of them, and say you drafted,
Another running back before
Bijan in
the first. Yeah. Yeah, no, you could play like Javonte and ETN guys you drafted late. I would probably swing those two over Josh Jacobs this week, but
What about Jordan Mason?
Oh,
he's also in that line there. No,
I'd probably take Jacobs over Mason.
Yeah, I agree. I would play Jacobs over all of them just because he could find the end zone.
It's Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't want to have Josh Jacobs on my bench and be like I just overthought my way out of that.
And that's what it is. It would be overthinking anything. Like it's not like you making like a logical thing. It's ETN's been hot, I get it, but at the end of the day, it's still Josh Jacobs. He's been producing. It's not like he hasn't. He's just playing Cleveland, who stopped Derrick Henry and gave him 20 yards last week. So he could just get punched in the mouth and just be out very early. So we'll see what happens. I'm not thrilled for the matchup for sure.
Yeah. It's a temper your expectation situation there. Tucker Kraft, he's in your lineup.
If he goes out. No, you're good. Yeah, I was just gonna say that if Josh Jacobs goes out and shits the bed, just don't be surprised if it happens. Yeah. He's playing Cleveland.
Yeah. I know you think the matchup is juicy because it's the Browns, but they've been good against the running backs. Tucker Kraft is in your lineup if he's out there. Just monitor that injury preemptively. I'd be fine just picking up Luke Musgrave if you could throw Tucker Kraft on your IR if he's ruled out. I think Musgrave's a fine kind of play. I think there's a chance for him to score a touchdown. The Packers receiving crew, it's tough. It's you, whoever you're going to play. It's you calling your shot confidence wise. Romeo Dobbs is the leader of this room right now with Jaden Reed out
for sure.
Matthew Golden's not getting targets, but he's got it. You see it. I think it's coming. He's a guy I'm in on like trading for. He's second in the league in route separation. Like he's getting there. He's just not getting targets yet. And I think as the year goes on, we've brought up like rookie players. They take a while. Like he might even be out there. Maybe people are already tired of him. I would snag up Matthew Golden or even try to trade for him in a really buy low situation. I like his upside going forward. I also like taking a shot on Dontavian Wicks to pick up as well. And even Christian Watson's a name to monitor. He says he's going to be practicing soon, so he's a guy you can stash onto your IR right away. But I'm probably not playing any of these guys this week.
I think Romeo Dobbs could be played in double flex leagues, like 2 flex leagues. If you have a deeper roster, I think you could play Romeo Dobbs. He's going to see a lot of targets because he's the number one in this room. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm not huge on Matthew Golden, but he's been separating. He's been running good. It's going to come. He's going to hit a big play at some point. It's just that I don't know how consistent it's going to be, dude. Like, I think that's just going to be who Matthew Golden is because that's who I seen him as in college.
That's just the Packers receiving room in general is how consistent it's going to be.
100%. And he fits in well in this room. I think he's just another one of these guys. I don't think he's going to be any type of alpha or anything, but at some point he's going to hit a big play. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Cleveland side.
Oof.
You can... Green Bay's defense is tough,
I don't
but
think you play anybody. I'm not lying to you, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe the tight ends. Maybe
I was
play Harold Fannin and David Njoku.
Njoku and Fannin, you just might be in a situation where you're just kind of backed into that just based off who you drafted, just the lack of depth at the position. Like I don't want to scour the market, like I said, for Jonnu or Hunter Henry, those guys when I have a Fannin or Njoku on my roster. I think they're playable. I'm not really putting Tillman or Judy in my lineup, and I'm not ready yet to throw in Quinshon Judkins, and this is a week where I'm just okay with Dylan Sampson also on my bench. I kind of agree.
I think that's like Judkins seen the bull carries in his first week, so week 2. I think he fully tokes the rock this game. I think he's going to have a mondo workload, but I don't think it's going to be any type of fantasy relevance. I think he's going to have like 15 to 19 carries, 70 yards, maybe a catch or two. So we're looking at close to 10, 12 points, but it's not going to be anything relevant per se. But I think this is the week Judkins actually takes over.
Yeah, I'm still not worried about Sampson's involvement, though, because I think he's going to be the pass-catching guy on the running backs. So this might be a situation where Sampson just kind of gets favored over Judkins, depending on how it goes offensively. But I don't want to try to play that game and squeeze that into my lineup when this could just be a boring defensive game and the Packers win 17-13 and nobody is fantasy relevant from Cleveland. So I'm not really trying to push any of those dudes into my lineup, especially the receivers. I just don't think there's any upside for Tillman or Judy.
Yeah, no, Tillman and Judy, I'm totally out on this week. And I would tend to agree that Sampson is going to be the pass catcher, but the only week they both played, they both had 3 catches, 3 targets. So I don't know how much more pass work Sampson sees than Judkins. I think it's going to be around the same. But Judkins is going to see way more carries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Packers win, though? You going Green Bay?
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay with ease.
All right. There we go. Next up on the slate, the New York Jets travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The Bucs are 7-point home favorites, over under a 43.5. No Justin Fields. He's already been ruled out with the concussion. So Tyrod Taylor is going to be starting here for the Jets. I agree. Don't make us wait. Not that.
Yeah. If you know a guy's not playing, rule him out instantly. Don't make us wait until Friday when all the practicing's done.
They did it with McCarthy and Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Don't do that shit. They knew Justin Fields is out. We know Tyrod Taylor is a starter. Thank you, New York.
Yeah. So how does that make you feel about the Jets players? Tough to run on Tampa Bay. Bijan, Tyler Algier, they didn't get a ton done week 1 against the Bucs, and then the Cleveland or the Houston Nick Chubb. He didn't do much against Tampa either Monday night. So Breece Hall, if he's going to get work, it's going to be dump offs from Tyrod. So that's in the realm. PPR wise, I'm fine keeping Breece Hall in my lineup
for sure. Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Garrett Wilson, I think you could keep in as a wide receiver too this week because you could pass on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would look at Wilson as like a wide receiver to high end flex play for sure. And same with Breece Hall, an RB2 flex kind of play this week. I think his pass work's going to save him. I think Tyrod's just going to keep dipping it down to Breece Hall because the pass rush is going to be getting to him. The run stopping ability from Tampa Bay is going to be killing the run. I don't see the Jets moving the ball a bunch, but it's going to be through dip downs to Breece Hall and then like slants to Garrett Wilson. And he's got the OBJ speed back in the day to take one in the house. So just hope that happens. Other than those 2 guys, though, I'm completely out on this team this week.
In classic Justin Fields fashion, if Tyrod Taylor comes out, plays good, and say they win, do they go back to Justin Fields, or do they stick with Tyrod Taylor?
I think they go back
Justin
to Fields,
week
but
1 was great.
Yeah, I think they go back to Fields initially, but if he comes out and has another week 2 performance, it's going back to Tyrod.
It shortens that leash. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, he's in your lineup. He's been good. Bucky Irving as well. Do you mess with Rachaad White? He got into the end zone against Houston. He's been involved. He had as much rushing yards as Bucky did last week. I'm not there where I'm going to. Yeah, I'm not there where I'm going to start him. But if I'm desperate, sure. But yeah, he's not somebody I'm forcing in yet. But it is something to monitor. If they keep getting him work, and he's been efficient this year, which is something you can never say with Rachaad White.
Yeah, week 1, it was only 2 carries, but he averaged 7 yards a carry. And then week 2, it was 6.5 a carry. He had 10 for 65. But he's not seen any type of passing work. He's got 3 catches on the year on 3 targets.
Yeah,
so
it's weird.
It's very weird. So until he sees a little bit more passing work, I'm not starting White.
And then Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka, you're locking both those guys in. Sauce Gardner is going to be on one of them.
Egbuka hasn't been practicing. He's got a hip and groin injury. He hasn't practiced Thursday or Wednesday. So,
I heard he was back out there today.
He was a DMP again Thursday.
Okay. I just saw it was expected to practice. But yeah, I see that.
Yeah, no, he didn't practice. So
DMP.
You have to monitor Egbuka. But if he plays, I'm starting Egbuka.
Yeah, he's found his way into the end zone both weeks. Yeah, if he's out there, put him in. Mike Evans, it might be a tougher play because he probably gets locked up with Sauce, but you're not going to pull him out of your lineup. And if Ibuka's not out there, Mike Evans is a great play because he is the passing work at that point. And then maybe you tinker with Rachaad White if Ibuka's not out there.
I was going to bring up that if Ibuka's not out there, that's when I'd look at Kate Otten. That's when
Kid
he's
Otten.
shown to be like good. When Chris Godwin wasn't on the field last
Captain
year,
America's not out there.
Yeah, Chris Evans. Oh, dude, cheat code on the football field. When Chris Godwin wasn't out there, though, Cade Otton stepped up, but then McMillan stepped up, and Cade Otton kind of faded away. So whenever there's two wide receivers, Cade Otton kind of takes a back burner. But if it's just Mike Evans and Cade Otton out there on Sunday, I'd be happily starting Cade Otton.
Yeah. All right. You going Tampa here? Or you think Tyrod and crew pulled off the upset?
I do not. I think Tampa also handily delivers a nice dub here.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
I
close.
agree. My NFC Super Bowl representative Bucks, I'm also going to pick them to get that win over the Jets. Here we go. Two teams that we love for fantasy because they put it out there, do what it is. They have everything set for us, makes it easy. The Los Angeles Rams travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles are 3.5-point home favorites, over under at 44.5.
The Eagles used to be easy to talk about, dude. What are we doing with those receivers, brother?
It's essentially you could bench them now. But like
I'm still not benching AJ Brown
either. But you know none of the other receivers are going to come up and create Jahan Dotson's not going to take away roles from these guys. You're obviously going to start your Rams. Puka's in, Devontae's in, Kyron Williams is in. That's it. The Rams are nice and easy. You're probably not messing around with Matt Stafford unless you're in a 2 QB league or Tyler Higbee. You're messing around with Tyler Higbee?
No, I'm not messing around with Tyler Higbee, but there's a lot of injured quarterbacks this week. Burrow's out, Justin Fields is out, McCarthy's out, Purdy's maybe out.
But
Jaden Daniels might miss this week. I'm not saying I'm messing with Stafford, but there might be people that have to mess with Stafford, dude.
That's fair. Would you play Stafford or Aaron Rodgers?
Give me Stafford.
Rodgers playing New England.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't trust that guy at all. I love Matt Stafford. I know.
What about Michael Penix against Carolina?
Ah, man, that's a rough one. I think they're gonna run a bunch, dude. I think they're just gonna. I think it's gonna be a week one kind of thing. I think it's gonna be a lot of Bijan, a lot of Tyler Algier this week, and Penix is gonna be backburnered. Okay,
Mac Jones against the Cardinals.
No, give me Mac Jones over Stafford.
Okay. That's a wild one. That just give me Mac Jones.
Yeah. I'm only saying that because I may have to start Mac Jones in a couple of leagues this week, so I'm just trying to make myself feel a lot better about that.
Yeah. Okay. Philadelphia, you're not going to pull Jalen Hurts from your lineup.
No, not yet.
You can pull Devonta Smith. You could pull him. You could put him on your bench. I wouldn't be moving on from him or trying to move him. I'd just be content sitting on him. AJ Brown, tough to pull him from your lineup as well.
I wouldn't sell him for cheap, but if I can get equal value to what I drafted these guys at, I would ditch them, I'd happily do that.
I don't think you will. I don't think you will get equal value for Devonta Smith.
Hey, man, maybe there's some Eagles fans that just want A.J. Brown for some reason. I'm just saying, if the right deal comes along, I would pull the trigger.
I think you could still get equal value for A.J. Brown. I don't think you can get that for Devonta Smith where you drafted him. Like he was going around like Jameson Williams, George Pickens. Yeah. You're not getting those guys back. Yeah.
No, that's right.
Like
you're right.
Maybe
you're right.
Chris Olave. Maybe I would trade him for Chris Olave, which I wouldn't feel great about it, but I'd consider that. But yeah, Dallas Goedert.
I'd probably do that trade. Olave's seeing a bunch of targets down there in New Orleans. Yeah. They're not great targets, Olave, but at least they're passing, dude.
His is all injury concerns that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert did return to practice today in limited fashion, so keep an eye on him. Especially if he's out there, then I'm really, really sitting Devonta Smith onto my bench. Saquon Barkley also, you're not pulling him out of your lineup at all either.
Yeah, Goddard's been out there for 2 limited practices in a row. Just keep an eye on him, see what happens Friday. Even if he's limited Friday, then I would expect him to be out there Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Who wins? Rams or Eagles?
Man, it's a good game. I'm really, really excited for this game. I love the Rams a lot.
The Rams have a really good defense, and they can stop running backs. Like, maybe this is what opens the passing game for Philadelphia. Maybe. I'm picking the Rams. I think the Rams win. They were the team that gave Philadelphia a fit in their playoff run. And I just think Sean McVay, really good coach. I think the Rams do pull this one off. The Eagles seem to be slow starting. They're winning the games, but they haven't looked great except on defense. So I like the Rams offense a little bit more than I like Philadelphia, so I'm going to lean LA.
I'll take Philly. Keep things exciting. I like Philly a lot, obviously. Yeah. Super Bowl pick.
Super Bowl pick, yeah. The Atlanta Falcons travel to Carolina, take on their division rival, the Carolina Panthers. Falcons are 5.5-point road favorites, over under 43.5. Bijan Robinson, don't even need to talk about him. He's in your lineup. You're not going to move on. Drake London, he's in your lineup, and it could be worrisome. It hasn't been great, especially if you drafted him first or second round where he was going. It hasn't been an ideal run, but he's seeing targets. You're not moving on from him. I wouldn't even consider trading him either. I'm still locked in that this turns around with Drake London. And you're not playing Darnell Mooney. It's really Kyle Pitts, who showed up on the injury report today. How you feel about Kyle Pitts here? He's got a toe injury.
Toe injury was limited. Not huge about toe injuries as of right now. They're getting a bad
They're taking over the NFL.
It's about time people realize how bad turf toe is. If it takes Joe Burrow missing a season, I'm glad turf toe is finally getting the rep it deserves. Drake London, obviously, like you said, he's seen 15 targets week 1. It's there as long as this team is passing. This week, I don't know how much they're going to be passing. Carolina is historically bad at stopping the run. I think it's going to be a lot of Bijan. I think
they shut down the Cardinals running game, though.
They did, but ETN lit them up week 1, so
he did.
I fully expect Bijan to light them up. He lit up you guys, which I was fully shocked. I did not think he light you guys up that bad. But I expect Bijan to have a huge game, and I think Tyler Algier is going to be out there a bunch like he's been. He's been out on the field a lot this season.
He should be rostered. If he's out there on your waiver wire,
for sure,
you could get him for $0 of FAB.
Yeah, I picked him up in, I think, 2 leagues. I dropped Eckler, unfortunately, because he's out for the year. And I picked up Tyler Algier just because he's out there a lot, and he's a guy that you can put in if you need a last resort kind of back just based off of he's on the field. So, but yeah, London's the only receiver I'm starting for Atlanta. Bijan for sure. Penix I'm not starting. Kyle Pitts, just monitor his name, obviously, see how he practices Friday. If it's limited, I'd kind of try to steer away from him.
Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz?
Zach Ertz.
Okay. I agree. Zach Ertz.
I kind of think Zach Ertz is almost like a lock top 12 tight end every single week going forward, just based off of the way they play football there in Washington.
What about opposite side? Carolina's tight end Jatavian Sanders, who was really involved last week against the Cardinals.
Over Kyle Pitts? Is that what you're saying, Kyle Pitts or JT Sanders? Give me Kyle Pitts.
Agree.
I'm not ready to lock in JT yet.
Over to Carolina, Bryce Young, he's fine if you're in 2 QB leagues or if you're real desperate this week because they're probably going to have to pass. But
I was going to say, you better hope they're passing 55 times again.
Yeah, and that Atlanta pass rush, they got to Minnesota, so who knows if that's a legitimate thing because they didn't really get that kind of pressure week 1 on Tampa Bay. So that's something to monitor. Chuba Hubbard's in. He continues to find his way into the end zone. He's being involved in the passing game, and he's actually efficient compared to last year. And then Tedero McMillan, lock him in, and that's it. I'm not there with Sanders. I agree. Leggett, no thank you. Regret Leggett. If he's on your roster, find somebody else. There's 15 players at least out there that you can pick up who are better than him.
I think I would rather his teammate and Hunter Renfrow over him at this point. Like he got 2 tutties last week. He's seen 1 more target than Leggett did last week. So Leggett should not be on a roster at this point. There are, like you said, 15, 20 guys that should be on a roster over him.
Hunter Renfrow's involvement's making me feel real good for when Jalen Coker gets back.
Yeah, probably. Because this would have been Coker, and I think Coker is more talented than Renfrow. I think Carolina thinks that too, considering they cut Hunter Renfrow when they had to make cuts. So.
Yep. And they traded Thielen, like they were all in on Coker there. But yeah, Carolina's super easy for fantasy. It's Tet, it's Chuba. That's it.
I agree.
Who goes over here? Atlanta or Carolina?
Give me Atlanta, man. Their defense has been sneakily good considering last week versus you guys. They really stopped you guys. I didn't see that coming at all. And then their offense has been their offense adjusts accordingly
Efficient.
to the defense that they're playing. Yeah.
Yep.
If they need to pass, they'll pass. When they run, they're gonna run successfully because of their run game. Bijan and Algier are really good running backs. So I think Atlanta's got something cooking down there.
Yeah. I'm also going to go with Atlanta here, week 1 against Carolina. The Indianapolis Colts, they take on their division rival as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Colts, somehow 2-0, undefeated. I would have never seen it coming. They're 4.5 point.
So anti-Indianapolis.
Yes. Yeah. 4.5 point favorites on the road, over under 43.5. Indy, I think Daniel Jones is a fine play. I think he teeters around the QB1 area. He falls into that 10 to 15 range this week for fantasy, so I'm fine starting him. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, lock him in your lineup. You're not going to move on from him. It's really Pittman and Downs. How do you feel about them? I'd lean more Pittman, but I think Downs is in play, but it's more in a like you say, a 2-flex league that you could put Downs in your lineup. If you're 1 flex, you probably have better options out there than Josh Downs. Like I'd play Quentin Johnston over him. I would play like Deebo Samuel. Obviously, he's probably a lock for like a wide receiver 2 at this point.
What about the 2 receivers on the other side? Alec Ayumaner and Calvin Ridley over Downs?
I would play Downs over both of those guys, and I'd lean Ridley. Like I would have Ridley and Downs really close, but I would play Pittman over all of them.
I agree to that. I would go Pittman, Downs, Ridley, Ayumaner for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Then Tyler Warren, obviously, you're not taking him out of your lineup. He's been, as you would say, he could be a boat. And Tyler Warren,
that man is a boat for sure, dude. He has been so good this year. He's what? You're good. You're good.
I was gonna say he's a full-on yacht at this point.
For sure, dude. Like week 1, 9 targets, 7 catches. Week 2, 7 targets, 4 catches. Both weeks in the 70 yards, 76, 79. Freaking 19 yards a catch week 2, dude. That's insane. Almost 20 yards a catch. That's Tyreek Hill shit out there, dude. Like he can literally do whatever you need him to do on the football field. You need him to block. You need him to pass short. You need him to run routes. You need him to throw a ball. You need him to take handoffs. Tyler Warren is a legitimate weapon for this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Tennessee. You could play Tony Pollard, I guess.
Tony Pollard has been really good. He just has 1 catch on the year.
Scored.
And he hasn't scored.
He's not catching the ball.
And that's the problem. But last week he had 92 yards versus the Rams, who have a really good defense.
Yeah. I was going to bring up, like, what if I told you Tony Pollard was 6th in the league in rushing yards?
Yeah. And it's just not showing in fantasy because he doesn't have touchdowns and he has 1 target for 1 catch. So,
yep.
I think you still happily start Tony Pollard.
Yeah, he's got more yards than Javonte, more yards than Josh Jacobs, more yards than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
that's crazy. 0 touchdowns.
That's
zero
crazy.
Touchdowns there. He's only got
1 catch.
11 yards less than Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, so, that's crazy.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is the only tight I'm just keeping in my lineup. Like Ridley and Ayumaner, I'm not ready to put Ridley in yet. It's just not there with him and Ward. And Ayumaner, I'm just not confident in him yet. But he is somebody that absolutely should be sitting on your bench, like holding on to him because it's gonna get there. That he becomes the number 1 for this offense potentially.
I mean, he's right there in targets with Ridley. He's seen 7 targets week 1, 6 week 2. Week 2, he brought in 4 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown was really nice. It's Ayumaner is the guy that Cam Ward trust and he's got the rapport down with. He's still working on his game with Ridley, but I think both these guys come the later season will be both flexible for sure.
You taking the Colts or the Titans?
Oh, man, Cam Ward's going to get his first win at some point, but it's not going to be this week. Give me Indianapolis.
Well, now that I'm buying into Indy and I have Daniel Jones, this is going to be the week where Daniel Jones turns back into Daniel Jones and the Titans win. Then I'm going to come on here on Tuesday and be like, I was right about the Colts all along. They're frauds. But no, I think Indianapolis takes care of business on Sunday on the road. I think they beat Tennessee.
I don't want to scare people off of like their waiver claims, and they probably put Fab on Danny Jones, but this week's not great for him fantasy wise. The Titans have been really good at stopping quarterbacks fantasy wise, but I think going forward, Danny Jones is a really good fantasy option. And this week, like you said, he's a fringe top 12 kind of guy, but don't be shocked if it's not as good as he's been all season.
Asking for a friend, Daniel Jones or Bo Nix. Bo Nix playing the Chargers, who just whooped up Geno Smith and kept Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had a nice fantasy day, but they beat Kansas City.
That is an insane question. Those guys are probably like back to back in my rankings if I had to do weekly rankings. Give me Bo Nix this week.
Okay. Bo Nix. Okay. Bo Nix over Daniel Jones. I'll keep that in mind. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they travel to New England to take on the Patriots. Steelers are 1.5 point road favorites over under a 44.5. Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers, he's whatever. If you fell into the Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy boat, Rodgers you could pick up in spot start, but you're not rushing to pick him up on the waiver wire. DK Metcalf is tricky. Like, you're not going to pull him, but I think he's more of a flex guy than he is a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. And Christian Gonzalez is going to be back out there for the Patriots. So that's going to be tough. And Jaylen Warren, I think you could put him in. Aaron Rodgers came out and like he wants to get Jaylen Warren more involved. He has building confidence in him. So, of course, that comes out right after I traded him in the listener league to you for Josh Downs.
Yeah. To who? Yeah, to me.
It was a nice trade, though. I needed wide receivers. You needed running backs. It worked out for both of us. I still like Downs future-wise here this year. And but Jaylen Warren, Aaron Rodgers wants to get him involved. So we'll see. We don't have to worry about Caleb Johnson. He's not going to be taking any touches from anybody anytime soon. But Kenny Gainwell's still out there. He's seeing his work. So he'll be out there. But I think Warren is a good low-end running back, too, this week. High-end flex guy.
Yeah, I'm glad Gainwell's snaps went down a little bit. It was 54 week 1, then it went down to 42 in week 2. His rushing attempts went down, but his catching work's still there. He's seen 4 targets week 1, 5 targets in week 2. So he's taking a lot of the passing game away from Jaylen Warren, which that was Jaylen Warren's job when it was Najee. So I would love to see Jaylen Warren get a little bit more of that later in the season, which I think he will, to be honest. So, and what you said about DK is spot on. I got DK in a couple of leagues, and I have him in my flex in a lot of those. I don't have him in my receiver spots. He's a flex guy, and I think that's where he belongs comfortably, to be honest.
Yeah. New England. I think Drake May is a fine play this week. I would hold him into that fringe range with like Daniel Jones and Bo Nix. Ramondre Stevenson. Pittsburgh can't stop anyone.
Dude, Ramondre is a start this week, 100%.
You gotta play him, and does that also give you confidence to continue trucking along with Travion Henderson?
I haven't been starting Henderson in a couple of leagues. I have him. I've moved him to the bench. Even week 1, I just comfortably didn't start him. I wouldn't start him again this week because of the performance Ramondre had last week. If Ramondre shit the bed last week, then I would be way more confident in Henderson. But with what Ramondre did last week, I think he's going to do it again versus Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh can't stop the run at all. So,
okay. Would you start Travion Henderson or Bill Krosky-Merritt, who looks to be taking over the lead role in Washington, but they've Jeremy McNichol still. Chris Rodriguez is going to be active this week as well. So do you go with Henderson, we know his role, and that could expand, or do you go with the other rookie, Corey Krosky-Merritt in Washington, who could be in line for a huge workload? We just don't know yet. We haven't seen him without Eckler.
Yeah, the Bill thing is all question marks. With Henderson, you're just kind of hoping he takes a screen pass for 60, 70 yards and scores because he has that ability. I would take the built-in floor with Bill Krosky this week.
Okay.
Just because I know he's the RB1 on that team, even with McNichols and Chris Rodriguez finally suiting up. But I don't know the workload for Travion Henderson. It might be 4 or 5 carries and 2 catches. for all I know.
I would lean Trevion. I think Pittsburgh struggles
It's
with
way
those.
more upside.
Yeah, Pittsburgh struggles with those shiftier, quick cut runners, and that's not Ramondre. Like Trevion fits the bill like Ken Walker and Brees Hall, the two running backs who have beat Pittsburgh. So I'm still locking in Trevion Henderson. The leagues I have him, I'm still having him in my lineup. I'm not shying away this week yet. So I would lean him over Bill, but it's close. And then, can you start a Patriots receiver? You comfortable with Booty?
No, he's seen one target. Thank God it was a touchdown last week. It was a touchdown. I get that, and I'm still willing to sit with Diggs. His 7 targets week 1, 5 targets week 2, and his snap percentage went up from 41 to 52.
He's going to be a dad. Maybe that gives him some juice.
He is indeed going to be a daddy. So, no, I'm not starting any of these guys, but I think Diggs and Booty both should be rostered right now.
Yep. And Hunter Henry, he's just a spot start guy, but I don't like him this week.
Yeah, if you need a guy, sure, it is what it is, but I don't know, man. 1 catch for 9 yards last week. I'm not crazy about Hunter Henry to begin with.
That's the Hunter Henry ride. And this will be the week where he gets 2 touchdowns. How do you feel about Drake May, though?
He's got the rushing upside ability. He's been moving a little bit this year, and you like to see that. He had 31 yards last week, a tutty on the ground, 2 through the air. He's a fine stream kind of guy. If you need to have him, you can play him.
Would you play him or Bo Nix or Daniel Jones in that group? I know you led Bo over Danny. Would you play Drake May over both those guys?
I would have them in the same bucket, but I would probably put Drake May above.
Okay.
I would probably go Drake May, Danny Jones, or Drake May, Bo Nix, Danny Jones.
Okay. Finally, Pittsburgh and New England. Who comes out on top here?
Oh, man, this is going to be a terrible game. I think we're going to go different here. I'm going Pittsburgh.
I'm going with the Patriots. I'm sticking with Drake May. Trust a better quarterback at this point. Las Vegas Raiders, they travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. The Raiders are 3.5-point road, or the Commanders are 3.5-point home favorites. Sorry. Over-under set at 44.5. Vegas, they're coming off a short week, and then they had to travel to the East Coast. You don't love that. And they didn't look great on Monday against the Chargers.
No.
I'm not ready to write off Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith's a fine spot start kind of player. Just not this week.
Geno's a good quarterback. Yeah. I agree. Not this week.
And I'm not moving on from Genty. I'm still locking him into my lineup. And Brock Bowers, obviously, keep him in there. It's really Jacoby Myers, who saw a ton of targets. They just weren't great on Monday. I think he's a flex guy, though. But I would lean him over, say, Josh Downs, who we talked about earlier, but I would lean Pittman over Myers.
I would still lean Myers over Pittman. He's seeing way more targets. 10 targets week 1, 12 targets week 2. I get they're not good targets, but I'm in the game of targets when it comes to receivers for sure. And I think Jacoby Myers is a better receiver than Michael Pittman, to be honest. So give me the targets, give me the better receiver. Obviously, the worst team for sure, but I like Jacoby Myers. I wouldn't say he's a wide receiver 2 this week, but he's an easy flex guy for sure. He's in the same bucket as Pittman.
We don't know about Jaden Daniels. I think if he's out there, he's not going to be running a ton, so it does kind of limit his upside, but I'm not moving him out of my lineup. I still think you
play him. Yeah, no, I agree. I would happily play Jaden Daniels as long as he's on the field.
Yeah. But if it is Mariota, I think Deebo Samuel's locked in your lineup no matter who the quarterback is. And I think Zach Ertz is locked into your lineup no matter who the quarterback is. If it's Marcus Mariota, and I think I would move off Terry McLaurin. I don't know if I would start him. I know that's tough because where you drafted him, but it's the holdout stuff. Like, those guys take a little bit while to get going. Like, if it's Jaden Daniels, I'm more inclined to keep McLaurin in my lineup because I think there's more passing upside than with Mariota. But if it is Mariota, I think it's going to be more Deebo, Zach Ertz oriented. When Zach Ertz and Mariota played 2 games last year, Zach Ertz was 5 for 40 and 4 for 50. So classic Zach Ertz stuff. He was still doing it. So that's why I'm not worried about Ertz if it's Mariota. But I am worried about McLaurin. That's just not Mariota's shtick. And then I think Bill Krosky, he's a fine flex play this week. But it'll be interesting to watch how the Washington backfield looks. Like, does Jeremy McNichols slide right into the Austin Eckler role like he did last year when Eckler got hurt? McNichols was reliable for fantasy. He was scoring touchdowns. He was involved in the passing game. Or do they lean more into moving Krosky Merritt to that role, and we see Chris Rodriguez get more of like the goal line stuff? So the Washington backfield definitely monitor.
Yeah, if I had to lean which way, I would go Bill Krosky Merritt kind of keeps his role and McNichol slides into the Eckler
I
role.
agree.
That's how I
think
kind of
McNichols
see
is
it
a
playing
good
out.
just pick up, Saturday.
Just in case. I agree.
Stash on your bench and hope he gets a couple catches and you have a viable guy going forward.
I would also be I'm a little more confident in Terry McLaurin than you are. His snap increase shot up way much from week 1 to week 2. It was like 78, like something like that week 1. To week 2, it went up into the 90s. It was like 91, 92% of snaps he was out there. He's seen 9 targets, and I get if it's not Jaden Daniels, it'll probably be worse. But at some point, Terry McLaurin is going to hit a big play because Terry McLaurin is too good not to hit these plays. I'm willing to bet on Terry McLaurin at some point.
Yeah, I'm keeping him in if it's Daniels. I'd try to move out if it was Mariota. That's where I say. I just think Mariota's game lingers more towards Debo and Ertz
it does.
than it does McLaurin's.
It's going to be a lot of short stuff around the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. It's not going to be deep ball stuff if Mariota's out there.
Okay. Who wins here, Vegas or Washington?
Give me Washington.
I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah.
They looked decent week 1, and to be honest, I don't think many teams are going to look good.
Yeah, Pete Carroll travels well. The Seahawks never really had too much of an issue traveling coast to coast. I'm going to go with Vegas. I think they pull it off. They looked really good week 1. I think week 2 was kind of a fluke for them. And I'm leaning more into that. If it's Mariota, I really think Vegas beats them if that's the case.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Vegas looked good week 1. Not many teams are going to look good versus the Chargers, so I don't think that's their problem. I still like Washington a lot, though.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's a doozy. The Cincinnati Bengals, they travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings are 3-point home favorites, over under a 42.5. Let's get the quarterbacks out of the way. You starting Jake Browning or Carson Wentz?
No, not particularly, to be honest.
We're in a deep dynasty league, and I've managed to stash like Mac Jones and Jake Browning and all these backup quarterbacks, and now they're starting. And I'm just like, now it's a 2 QB league. Well, it's super flex. And I also have Rodgers, and I have McCarthy, and I have Drake May, and now I just have too many quarterbacks. I went in, I took over this team who had no quarterbacks, and now I've accumulated all the backups, and they're now viable. Like, I should start trying to pawn off Jake Browning to people. But yeah,
I was gonna say you should try to trade Drake Browning for sure. Get something for that kid.
Yeah. If I had to play one of them, it would be Jake Browning. I just think more familiar with the offense. We've seen him work well with the Bengals when he's had to play, whereas Carson Wentz is an unknown. Setting a record, though, first quarterback to ever start for 6 different teams.
That's it. I didn't know that. That's a crazy stat. That's a wild thing. Carson Wentz, what a guy.
Yeah. Jordan Mason, my start of the week. Lock him in for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, you're locking him in as well. TJ Hawkinson, it doesn't feel great, but I think I agree with you. I think you could keep him in your lineup this week. But if he shits the bed this week too, you got to move on. You could probably cut him.
This is the last week. Yep.
And Cincinnati, it's really lowering the confidence that you have in these guys. Jamar Chase, fine, keep him in, no worries. T. Higgins, there's a little bit more question there. Same with Chase Brown, but that's really it. Bengals also really easy for fantasy, but I'm not benching any of those guys. Obviously, not benching Chase. Higgins, would you start Higgins or Devonta Smith this week?
Give me Higgins. The passing work in Philly it's not there to be starting those guys, especially over guys like Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to pass the ball regardless of who the quarterback is.
What about Higgins or George Pickens?
Give me Pickens.
Pickens
had a really good week last week. Give me Pickens. He had a really good week last week. And it wasn't just all deep ball stuff. He ran a lot of different routes. It was nice to watch.
Yeah, I agree with Pickens over Higgins as well. Then who wins on Sunday? Cincinnati or Minnesota?
Give me Cincinnati. Yeah, give me Minnesota.
Minnesota. I agree. I think I would be picking the home team no matter what here.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, home team advantage. I can see that for sure.
The home team advantage for sure. Yep, I agree. Minnesota. Like if Cincinnati was at home, I would have picked the Bengals over Vikings. The Houston Texans, they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jags are 1.5 point home favorites. Over under set at 44.5. How are you feeling about the Jaguars? I know Liam Cohen, they got some beef there with Trevor Lawrence. Who knows what's going on there? We know we briefly touched about that on Tuesday. Like, I brought up Stafford, that you're not messing around with him. I would start Matt Stafford over Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree to that statement. Yeah, give me Stafford over Lawrence. Oh man, I'm not really particularly thrilled about anyone in Jacksonville. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
ETN, I'm fine with ETN.
Yeah.
But Houston's a good defense.
But are you going to bench Brian Thomas Jr.?
No, not yet. But I'm not thrilled to have him on my lineup right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. BTJ, you're going to keep him in your lineup. You're going to ride that horse. Travis Hunter, you could probably he's worth playing if you need like an upside guy. Like if you're an underdog in your lineup and you need a guy who could get a big play, I think you put Travis Hunter in. Like he's still out there, but one of these days we don't know. It might be just a full Travis Hunter defensive game, depending on where they need him. But I think he's fine to put in a flex spot if you need upside in your lineup.
Yeah, you can flex him, but I'm not particularly thrilled with how much Diami Brown has been on the field. He's been on the field for 71% of snaps, 80% of snaps week 2. So I'm not particularly thrilled about that. He scored last week, had 7 targets. I would. Brian Thomas is probably the only receiver I'm playing. Not confidently, but the only one I'm playing out of this side on Jacksonville.
You think Diami Brown's worth rostering or not yet?
No, not yet. Let me see another week of it.
I agree. Houston, it's Nico Collins and no one else. That's like sure you could play Nick Chubb, but I don't want to.
You want to take a chance on Christian Kirk coming back?
Take a chance on who?
Christian Kirk coming back.
No, not yet. I need him out there and healthy before I'm willing to try to put him into my lineup.
Reasonable. He's still only limited in practice, but I expect Kirk to be out there.
Yeah. Which I think it would be a good boost for CJ Stroud and company, but I think he'll be better for them in real life coming out than he would for fantasy. I think it's just Nico Collins and no one for me. I don't know how you feel about Chubb.
Not particularly great. He had a nice touchdown run, but he's still only really out there for like 50% of snaps, 12, 13 carries. It's kind of just Nico. I'm in that boat.
Yeah. Would you start Stroud or Matt Stafford?
Oh, good God. Stafford.
I agree. I'm going Stafford. And then who wins this game? That's pretty much just 3 players. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Etienne, and Nico Collins.
Yeah, what a gross game. But give me 0-2 Houston to win this game.
I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I'm going to lean into the home team. Tough, because I do think Houston could win. I think it's going to be it's a toss-up, and obviously the Vegas odds see that. It's a 1.5 point line. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars here.
Yeah, this game could go literally anyway, for sure. And it's not going to be a fun one to watch.
All right, 1 o'clock games in the books. Let's shout out our friends over at Findlay Hats before we dive into those 4 o'clock and the primetime games. Findlay Hats, they're hats built for good times and long times. Yeah, if your hat is damaged or destroyed, they will replace it or repair it absolutely free. They offer free shipping across the U.S., so that's pretty cool. They do weekly drops. They have a ton of cool stuff. This past week, they did a horror drop. They've done some space and alien stuff. They did a King of the Hill drop recently as well. So you could check them out over at Findlay Hats. And then if you click the link in the description, you'll get a nice 15% off your first purchase over at Findlay Hats. So join the force and get yourself a Findlay hat courtesy of the Drafted Up podcast. All right, 4 o'clock games. First up, New Orleans Saints. They travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7.5-point home favorites, over under a 41.5. The Saints, they're nice and easy for fantasy. It's Kamara, it's Juwan
Yeah.
Johnson, and you can play. And Chris Olave is a fine flex play, low end wide receiver too. This offense pacing's really great. They're moving fast, so it makes Olave and especially Juwan Johnson. The Seahawks can't stop tight ends. They're a little banged up on defense. Good defense though. You're not going to hear me disrespect that. That's been a claim I've been riding on. But they've been struggling with the tight end position. So Juwan Johnson is pretty much just a flex receiver for the Saints. At this point. So if you got him, you're locked into this, locked and loaded tight end every week. And then, like I said, Olave, he's a fine play just with the pacing, and he's healthy, he's seeing targets. He's looked good as well with Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, dude, Juwan Johnson's on pace for like 170 targets. If that happens, he's going to finish as a top 5 tight end. And if anyone got him off waivers, that was a hell of a steal. Even if you overpaid, it was well worth it.
Yeah.
I think this is the year. He's being used as a slot receiver. It's a deadly combination with Kellen Moore. Like, in Kellen Moore, we trust you. Like, fantasy-wise, if Kellen Moore is running an offense, he is going to have productive fantasy guys. And it's looking like it's Olave, it's Juwan Johnson, it's obviously Alvin Kamara. So, and we've been giving credit to Spencer Rattler the last 2 podcasts. He's looked way better than anyone has thought he has. He doesn't look great, but man, he looks better than he did last year. So, just keep the ball moving, man. Keep it going to Olave. Keep it going to Johnson. Make us fantasy guys happy, man, and we'll keep talking you up.
How do you feel about Rashid Shaheed? 14 targets in 2 games, 10 for 85 and a touchdown. Like, he's not overly involved, but like, I think different situations, like if it's a game where it could be a shootout, I like Shaheed, but I just don't think they get into a shootout against the Seahawks.
Yeah, not versus Seattle. I think it's a pretty good defense, like you've been saying for a while. He's a best ball kind of guy, like daily fantasy value if you play those betting leagues, like the 1 week kind of leagues. I don't know. He's got a really high ceiling, really low floor. That's always how I've seen Shaheed, though. I haven't differed on that stance.
You're not dropping him though. You're keeping him rostered.
Oh no. Yeah, for sure. He should be on the team.
Yeah. All right, Seattle. Zach Charbonnet hasn't practiced, so. Kenneth Walker could be in line for a big workload, and he went off against Pittsburgh. So, and obviously you're not going to move on from him and try to get him out of your lineup after that week, even if Charbonnet was out there. Though I do feel the Saints kind of favor Charbonnet. Like, if Charbonnet was out there, this is just a team you just try to just eat the clock and run down their throat, and that's where Charbonnet would come in hand. But Ken Walker, he's in your lineup. Jackson Smith and Jigba, obviously you're playing him. He's been incredible there. Cooper Kupp, I don't even know if I roster him. I think he's a guy I could drop if I need to fill depth either at an injured quarterback or injured tight end. But
that's rough after last week. He had a good week.
Yeah. But I'm more just stashing him at the back end of my bench. I'm not putting him in my lineup this week.
Yeah, for sure. Like if for some reason you only have like one IR spot and you got like Joe Mixon on it and your quarterback got hurt because it was one of the many quarterbacks, you could cut Cooper Kupp if need be, but he had 7 catches for 80 yards last week or 90 yards. So I think he could be productive, but I don't think it's anything of like real value.
And you also got to worry, like, how much more does Torrey Horton get involved? He had a touchdown this past week, and that could start eating into his, because if Torrey Horton eats into anyone's pass work, it's going to be Cooper Kupp. It's not going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba's.
He is dealing with a groin injury, Torrey Horton. He is limited to the practice. He should play, but he is a little banged up.
Like, 3 guys. I'll give you 3 scenarios. You figure out, like order of them you cut. Like, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, or Matthew Golden.
Those guys particularly, I would keep Golden and Diggs because Golden is a rookie, is a first-round pick. He's got high explosive upside. Diggs could be the number 1 on his team. Cooper Kupp cannot because of JSN.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd rank them as well. Sam Darnold, worth flex.
Please play worth flexing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hell yeah, flex that guy. If you need a quarterback because of the injuries, Darnold, you could play him this week. He had a nice week too.
Yeah, him or Daniel Jones.
This week, man, I would say Darnold's got the better matchup, but give me Danny Jones. He's been more consistent all year. He deserves the credit.
Really hoping I'd get you to say that you'd start Sam Darnold over someone.
No, you're not going to. I mean, either way, you got me to start Danny Jones, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Seattle, you picking the Seahawks here? I don't think there's anyone else we're talking about.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be Seattle. JSN's on like a historic pace, like almost near 200 targets, 2,000 yards. Insane start to the season. That guy's going to be amazing all year.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were able to buy him low in Dynasty after that first year, that made bank for you.
Do you think if his pace keeps up, you think he takes that jump into like the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb category because of how young he is?
So I like for redraft next year, I don't think he goes over Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, or even Neighbors, but I think he'd be the next man up. I think he would pass Drake London.
Over, you say Amon-Ra too?
Oh no, I would have Amon-Ra in that group too. So he'd be the sixth guy up, 6 or 7.
Man, I think if he keeps up, that's back-to-back seasons. He had 100 catches last year, 1,100 yards. If he pulls out a crazy season like 130 catches, 1,700 yards, I think he's like the 3rd or 4th receiver taken next year.
Yeah, and also, I guess format doesn't really like half PPR. You might lean towards the other guys, but full PPR, yeah, I could see him going, back into the first round, which is I think where he should go anyways. Even if he just puts up what he did last year, which was still a great season.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to really beat his numbers from last year. Yeah. I think he's on pace to have like a Mondo year. He needs to start scoring touchdowns, though. He has 0 on the year. And that's very Amon-Ra like early Amon-Ra. The last couple years, Amon-Ra has been putting up touchdowns, but early on, he was not a touchdown guy. So I would like to see him score at least 6 touchdowns this year. That would be ideal.
Yeah, if I can get my guys in the end zone, I'm thrilled. But yeah, Jack Smith-Njigba was a great payoff. As he started falling, like people just weren't buying into Sam Darnold, which they did in Minnesota, and Jefferson fell in drafts to like a late first, and Darnold started JSN started falling to like late second, and it's paid off for you. If you piggybacked your draft at Bijan Robinson and Jackson Smith-Njigba, you're sitting pretty right now, probably 2-0.
Yeah. For sure, because he finished as a top 10 receiver last year in full point PPR, so I expect it to be another crazy finish this year.
Yeah. Denver Broncos, they travel to LA to take on their division rival, the Chargers. The Chargers are 2.5-point home favorites, over under a 45.5. Justin Herbert. Yeah, Daniel Jones had a great game against the Broncos, so Herbert, you're not moving him out of your lineup. He's been great this year. He's running the ball. They're doing design runs for him. He's been incredibly efficient as a passer. So, yeah, lock him in. Ladd McConkey was banged up, but he did practice today. He's got the, Patrick Surtain looming over him. It's a little tricky with the receiving room there. Like, Quentin Johnson might be the best play this week, which sounds insane coming out of my mouth. But I think that's where I lean.
I would still take... Oh, man, I might take Keenan Allen over all of them, to be honest.
That's fair.
He's had a touchdown in both weeks. He's had double-digit targets in both weeks. He's so reliable. He's a quarterback's best friend. I love Keenan Allen. There's not a bad thing I would say about that guy. I'm so happy he's back in LA, dude. But I'd probably start all 3 of these guys. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I agree. And Amari Hampton. You moving on from him out of your lineup?
If you have like ETN and other running backs, you have other plays over him for sure. Just let him develop and prove that he's ready to start in a fantasy lineup. Right now, he's not.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable moving Hampton out of my lineup than I am Chanty. I know both have been kind of a struggle, but Genty doesn't really have anyone looming there like Hampton has Najee, and Genty's found the end zone at least this year. And Hampton's he's fumbled. He fumbled last week, so yeah. If I have other options, like say I went with the hero RB approach, and Hampton was my second RB, and I got ETN and Javonte late, I would play both those guys over Hampton.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I would probably play Jalen Warren over him too.
Yeah, I would also play Warren. Yeah, no, I agree to that statement. I think he's been ramping up a little bit. Week 1 was like a practice run. Week 2, he's seen 8 carries. It wouldn't shock me if Najee sees 12 to 14 carries this week.
I'll give you a gross one. Amarian Hampton or Ramondre Stevenson?
That is absolutely disgusting. Oh, God. Give me Ramondre this week. That's not on record, by the way. I didn't say
that. Nick, big Ramondre guy.
It's all coming out again. No.
No, I think I would still lean Hampton just because I think there's just always the chance that Ramondre just goes back and reverts to just being inefficient.
Just because it sounds better, it doesn't make you throw up a little bit in the back of your mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't make me like I'd rather Hampton get me 5 points as my starter and Ramondre get 15 than Ramondre get me 15 as my starter and Hampton blows up for 30.
I don't know about that.
No?
I'll take those 15 points for Ramondre any day of the week.
That's fair. Anyone else on the Chargers? Najee, you're not going to play him yet.
No. You can't play Najee or any of the tight ends, but it's the 3 receivers and Justin Herbert, and I honestly think Herbert's a lock every single week. I love Herbert so much.
Yeah, you
been so good.
Herbert in your top 10, and I wasn't there, and I'll gladly eat that one. Take that L. He's been incredible this year for the Chargers. Denver.
See, this year makes me feel really good about Herbert because I've never really been in on the Chargers. I'm not a big Herbert guy. And like this year I decided, I'm in on the Chargers. I like what they've done. I really like Justin Herbert going forward this year. And it's all kind of clicking. So hopefully injuries hold up, man, because that's always what bites this team in the ass, man. So
yeah, defense has been incredible. They're staying healthy as of now. I mean, it started off that Rashawn Slater went out for the year, and we're like, oh my god, the Chargers. It's
all going downhill. Here we go. I wish Slater was out there, dude. If Slater was out there, this team would be unstoppable right now.
Yeah. Denver. I think Bo Nix is in play. Like I hold him in the same range as like Drake May, Daniel Jones, those guys. Courtland Sutton, you're going to keep him in your lineup. I'm not ready to move on from him yet. Would you play Sutton over T. Higgins or Devonta Smith? Those guys.
I would play him over Smith, not over Higgins.
I'd lean that way as well. Troy Franklin, you buying into all the snaps that he got last week? You put him in your lineup, or is he just a wait and see what Sean Payton does? Because like Sean Payton could just come out here and Marvin Mims is playing 80% of the snaps this week.
Yeah, no, that is classic Sean Payton for sure. And I drafted Pat Bryant in a ton of leagues and deep leagues just as a flyer, and I cut him week 1 for Troy Franklin just to see how it went, and then he blew up week 2. So I think Troy Franklin should definitely be on like the back of benches in deep leagues, even in like shorter leagues. But I think it's a little risky to start him this week, but definitely monitor his name. Like he was out there for 83% of snaps. He was wide receiver 7 on the week, 8 for 89 and a tutty. If he does that again, he's an instant lock, and you have to pick him up.
And then J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey.
J.K. Dobbins, you can start. He's had 2 really good weeks, 15 points nearly each week, touchdown in both. He's not being used as a receiving back at all, which I would like to see a little bit more work, but you can start J.K. Dobbins for sure. I'm not starting R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, R.J. Harvey, like Tyler Bidet?
Yeah, Tyler Bidet, I believe. Bidet.
The toilet man.
That's a bad nickname.
He's still on the field. Like, he
plays a lot. Yeah, he's out there.
Like more than you want. Like he's only out there for like 20-25%, but like that's cutting in RJ Harvey's time. It's not really cutting into J.K. Dobbins. So that's why it's I'm comfortable just keeping RJ Harvey on my bench, waiting for the big moment for him. But yeah, Dobbins is a fine 4 play. Would you play him or Tony Pollard? Pollard against the Colts.
Man,
doesn't score.
Give me Dobbins just because he already has 2 touchdowns on the year. I think they're like equal. Obviously, Tony Powar's got him on yards, but Dobbins has the way better touchdown upside. But
yeah,
they both have
agree.
volume.
I agree. All right, Denver or the Chargers? Who wins?
Give me the Chargers.
I agree. I'm taking the Bolts here over the Broncos. Our game of the week: the Dallas Cowboys travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. Cowboys are 1.5 point road favorites over under a 50.5. We had Four plays of the week in this game. You had
4
Rome
of the
Odunze,
8. Yep.
A Dak Prescott for me, DJ Moore for me, and Javonte Williams for you.
Williams.
So we each split 2-2. So obviously, we like the options in this game. Rome Odunze, you're going to play him after that big week. DJ Moore, who's just been fine. I think he's in line for a big game as well. Really on Chicago's side is Caleb Williams worth a spot start, and do you continue to roll with DeAndre Swift?
I mean, by a proxy, you kind of have to assume Caleb Williams is a fine flex start because of what Russell Wilson did to Dallas' defense. You have DJ Moore as your start of the week. I have Rome Odunze as my start of the week. Caleb Williams has been decent enough. He was quarterback 9 week 1, quarterback 20 week 2 with 2 tutties. And he's running a little bit. Week 1, obviously way more. He had 58 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Week 2, he only had 27 yards, but he still had 5 attempts. So if he's moving a little bit, you can flex Caleb Williams. I don't know how confidently, though. It's a good matchup, though. Great matchup.
Yeah, and DeAndre Swift's been good. 63 yards and a touchdown against the Lions, 3 catches. He had 53 yards and 3 catches against the Vikings. You just got to keep an eye on him. He's limited at practice again today. That's 2 days in a row that he's been limited at practice. So monitor that. And if he's out, do you pick up Kyle Monungai and start him, or do you just pass on the Bears' rushing attack? And maybe that does boost DJ Moore then, because like I said, he's been taking the backup running back role essentially for the Bears.
I would pick up Monungai just as a stash, but I don't know if I would start him. He did play 41% of snaps week 2, which was a huge upgrade compared to week 1. Week 1 was only 13% of snaps. And then Swift's snaps dropped a ton from week 1 to 2. It was 81% in week 1, 57 in week 2. So
I wonder if
Monungai was out there a lot. I think that's what it is.
And they just kind of pulled him too because they were just getting mollywopped by the Lions.
Yeah, because Monungai he had 7 attempts for 28 and 3 targets through the air. So, and Roschon Johnson had zero rushing attempts in week 2.
Roschon Johnson's a non-factor at this point.
So I think it would be Monungai if Swift is out, but I wouldn't start Monungai.
Yeah. And then Dallas side, we're obviously in on Dak Prescott. We're in on Javonte Williams. I think they're both good plays. And obviously you're not benching CeeDee Lamb. And I think George Pickens is a great play. He was in contention. If I didn't go with DJ Moore, I would have went with George Pickens as my play of the week at wide receiver.
Pickens looked good week 2, 9 targets, and they weren't deep. Like some of them were deep, but he ran real routes, which you love to see, and he got in the end zone. I'm in on both these guys. CeeDee Lamb is unbelievably amazing. Like if anyone benches CeeDee Lamb, let me know and I'll happily trade for him. Would be insane.
Your touchdown guarantee this week, CeeDee Lamb?
CD versus the Bears. I didn't say Siri. Goddamn phone. Don't do that. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Give me a CeeDee Lamb touchdown. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Jake, I'm going to make your streak end because I put you on the spot. You naturally bring it out.
Yeah, this guy.
Jake Ferguson's also a great play. I think you could lock Jake Ferguson you do Zach Ertz at this point as like a top 12 tight end almost every week.
Yeah, man, I agree. I have him with Jawan Johnson in a bunch of leagues. So I'm obviously starting Jawan Johnson over him, but Ferguson's a really good start. Would you start actually outscored Jawan Johnson last week in full point?
Would you start Jake Ferguson or Travis Kelce?
That is, God damn, TJ, give me, Jake Ferguson.
Hell yeah, I'm in on that boat too. Yeah, Jake Ferguson over Travis Kelce.
I'm just going who's better, who's going to have more fantasy points in week 3, and I think it's going to be Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I absolutely am on board there. I'm throwing out some good
really disgusting ones.
Yeah. I think Dallas wins this game. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about.
Man.
Oh, Ben Johnson getting that first win?
Give me the Bears.
Hell yeah. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Arizona travels to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, division rival. Niners 3-point home favorites, over under 45.5. Brock Purdy came out today and said he's a game time decision. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be out there. I think it's going to be Mac Jones. if Purdy's out there banged up, does that worry you or excite you, or do you just feel the same as you do with Mac Jones for Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings?
I feel the exact same for McCaffrey, regardless who's out there. I would prefer Purdy to be out there for Ricky Pearsall. I don't think it matters for Juwan Jennings, to be honest.
Okay. It worries me a bit if Purdy's not full. Like if he's only going out there 80%, I think I'd rather just Mac Jones just because he can sling it. But I think for Pearsall needs Purdy. Jones, if Mac Jones is out there, I think Juwan Jennings is a great start this week.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The Cardinals secondary is decimated. They're missing 4 of their top 5 corners.
And you've seen it last week. A lot of them got hurt, and that's when Carolina started their comeback. It just had naturally happened because Arizona's defense was decrepit from the second half of that game, and Carolina slowly crept back in because they were passing the ball 55 times on a defense that didn't have a secondary. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Pearsall really needs Purdy to be a really good receiver. I don't think Mac Jones can get him the ball enough. Jennings can take one over the top. He did it last week, and then McCaffrey's arguably the safest running back in football if he's on the field.
If Brock Purdy's out there, you playing him?
Yeah, because I'm playing Mac Jones if he's out there, so I'm playing Brock Purdy if he's out there. So I'm playing the Niners quarterback who's ever out there.
Arizona. Kyler Murray gives me the ick. I
know he does.
And it makes me not want to play. I've done a full 180 on the Cardinals. I loved them last year. Maybe that's why I just got the ick, because they really let me down.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's probably why.
But I don't know. Kyler Murray just hasn't looked good, real football good. He's been fine for fantasy, but
hey, man, they're 2-0. Think about that.
They are 2-0. Would you play Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams?
God damn it, Kyler Murray.
Okay, I'm going Caleb.
Reasonable. I get it.
I kind of hold I'd play Bo Nix. I hold Murray a step below Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, Drake May, those guys. I would put Kyler Murray with Geno Smith.
I would put Kyler in.
But I would
the
have
same
Caleb
bucket with those other guys.
Okay.
So reasonable. Yeah, a little bit higher.
Trey McBride is the best. You keep him in. James Conner, you're not going to bench him.
You play him. Yeah, no, you play him.
It's Marvin Harrison. I'm not moving him out of my lineup either, but he's kind of in that DK Metcalf range where he's probably a better flex than he is a wide receiver too at this point.
Marv is so touchdown reliant. If Marv scores a touchdown, you're really happy with his games. If Marv doesn't score a touchdown, it's really bad. So it's if you think he's going to score. So Marv is honestly a coin toss. I cannot say that word at all. I'm trying to combine words. Hey man, it's been a long night. It's late.
A coin floss.
Marv though, I'm cool benching Marv if you have better options. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, would you play Marvin Harrison or the other Niners receivers, Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall?
Give me who's out there, Purdy?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, not Pearsall. I would start Jennings though.
Okay. What about the Colts boys, Pittman and Downs?
Pittman easily over Marv. I don't think I'd start Downs.
All right. DJ Moore, my play of the week at wide receiver.
Give me DJ Moore and Rome easily over Marv.
Okay. Well, yeah, I figured Rome. You should play of the week. What about banged up Xavier Worthy if he's out there? I mean, obviously that one's tough to call because that's the Sunday night game.
That one's tough.
Say the Chiefs come out and they're Worthy's going to be out there this week.
If they come out and they tell me he's going to be out there for 60 to 70% of snaps, I'm starting Worthy. They need that guy on the field.
Maybe it's just because I love Marv. I would lean Marv over all those guys except DJ Moore.
We kind of talked about the Marv thing last week or last episode, I think it was. Yeah. I think I'm almost willing to put Rome into that category. That Marv is the third best receiver out of the three of those guys.
Well, what about Brian Thomas Jr.?
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, the fourth best receiver out of those guys.
I still think it's a Cardinals offensive issue. I don't think it's a Marvin Harrison issue.
I agree. I don't think it's fully Marv, but I don't think Marv is that guy. He's definitely not Malik Neighbors. He's definitely not BTJ.
I still don't think either of those guys have 1,000 yards in this offense. Like Kyler Murray's just not willing to take the shot, and those guys also thrive on like Neighbors could take some of that underneath stuff, but like they don't run that with Marv, and then Murray doesn't hit him on the deep stuff. So like I just don't know if Murray's willing to take the deep shot, and I think that hurts any of the receiver there, especially even Roma Dunze. So like I think it's a quarterback issue and an offensive scheme issue than a talent issue.
I don't know. I wouldn't say BTJ or Rome would have 1,000 yards because they're kind of very similar to Marv, but I would bet my life that Malik Neighbors have 1,000 yards in his offense.
Who wins here, Arizona or San Francisco? Who goes to 3-0?
Yeah, which is insane to think. Give me San Fran, I think.
I agree. Taking the Niners here. Sunday night, the Kansas City Chiefs travel to New York to take on your New York Football Giants. The Chiefs
How is this the game? How is this Sunday night?
What do you think the line is here?
I don't. The Chiefs by 7.5.
Chiefs by 6 is the line. Over under a 45.5.
Hey, I'll take it.
Who do you play for the Giants? Malik Neighbors.
Oh my!
You playing Wandale?
Malik Neighbors. I think if you have to play Wandale in like a 2-flex kind of league and like in full point PPR, I'm starting Wandale. I'm fine with that. He's like a cheat code.
Wandale or Josh Downs?
Give me Wandale.
I agree. Wandale. Okay. Wandale or Calvin Ridley? I can't remember if you had Downs over Ridley.
Wandale. So, I did. Yes, okay. Wandale.
Wandale or Ricky Pearsall? With
this
Brock
week,
Purdy. We'll put Brock Purdy in this.
This week, still give me Wandale.
Okay, I agree across the board. Wandale or Marvin Harrison?
Full point PPR?
Full PPR.
1 point per catch? Wandale. Give me Wandale.
Okay. Would you play Marv over DK Metcalf?
I have those guys very equal. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're almost the exact same kind of guy this year. Like it's identical.
Yeah. I think Wandale and Neighbors are both in play, especially in PPR. Tracy and Scadaboo?
Yeah. Oh man, Scadaboo really took the backfield last week. He had 11 carries. To Tracy, I think only had like 5 for 15. Tracy was nice in the receiving game though. He had 5 targets, brought in 4 of them.
Scadaboo he was limited in practice today.
Yeah, where Scadaboo's full healthy. I wouldn't start either of those guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree. Is Russell Wilson worth a spot start? Would you play him or Matt Stafford?
Give me Stafford.
I'd lean that way as well. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, he's a fine play. I kind of hold him in the same boat that we've been where he's not Patrick Mahomes on the field where he's the best, but he's fine for your lineup. You're not gonna be mad if he's your quarterback. Travis Kelce, it's a little shaky, but I'll still ride that boat. At least this week, but he's not one like with Mark Andrews is the next game. I would have moved on from Mark Andrews already. I won't move on from Travis Kelce.
No, Kelce, he scored in week 1, which really saved him. But week 2, he was 4 for 60 in full point PPR. That's 10 points. You're cool with that. If your tight end gets double digits, you're happy with that.
Yep. Xavier Worthy, if he's out there, I'm probably not putting him in just because I don't know what condition his shoulder's actually going to be in. But this offense needs him, and Rashee Rice bad.
That's my fear with whenever Worthy does step back on the field. In full point PPR, he could easily just have 8 catches. He might have Wandale kind of yards, like 8 catches for 50 yards, but that's a lot of points in full point PPR. So this offense needs him. He's going to be used a bunch, even if he's out there on limited snaps. Yeah.
Hollywood Brown, you willing to play him or no?
Not necessarily. I would try to find a way out, but if you have to play him because you picked him up last week and for some reason, I don't know who you have, but they're not playing, It is what
Like
it is.
I would play the group of guys we've named. Like I would hold Hollywood in like the same bucket as like Ayum in there for the Titans.
Yeah, I would put him in a bucket with Ayu Maynor and like man, I had a guy and I totally blanked on his name. Damn, I really had a good one too. Not gonna lie to you. We'll come back to it. He'll pop back up.
And then Pacheco.
It was Troy Franklin was the guy that was in the bucket with Hollywood Brown. I would put Troy Franklin in that same bucket.
Yeah, I'd agree to that. Pacheco. What do you do with him?
No. Well, I'm holding him again, but I'm not playing him.
If he comes out and did what he did the last 2 weeks, do you move on from Isaiah Pacheco?
Who are you picking up? There's no real good waiver running backs is the problem.
That is the issue. What if Rachaad White's out there?
Nah, unless White's receiving game goes up. Like if White comes out and has like 7 targets, brings in 6 of them, I would cut Pacheco for that.
Okay, so
those 6 catches are more points than Pacheco's had all season. So
Kyle Monungai.
No.
Okay. Who wins here? Kansas City or you guys, the New York Giants? Both teams 0-2, by the way.
That's right. Giants, same record as the Chiefs. I shall take it. No, I there's no world where I see Kansas City going 0-3. I just can't see that happening.
Yeah. I think this game could be ugly. And I think it could be close going into the fourth quarter, but I do think
going
the
to
Chiefs
be disgusting.
The Chiefs take over. I think the Chiefs win this one.
If the Giants are able to keep this game competitive, it's going to be one of the most ugly, entertaining games of the year, just because of how much people hate Kansas City. Yeah. Everyone's going to be cheering for the Giants Sunday night, and it's going to be hysterical when we let the whole world down come Sunday night.
Right. Monday night, we got an exciting one. We'll end on a high note. The Detroit Lions travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are favored at home, 4.5. Over under of 53.5 points. Every time Jared Goff and crew have had an over of 50, they've averaged 28 points. So that's a good thing. And the Ravens have averaged over 40 points on the year. They've had over 40 both games. So Lamar Jackson in your lineup. Zay Flowers in your lineup. Derrick Henry in your lineup. Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely did practice, so we could be seeing his debut. Do you pick him up if he's out there?
Oh, man, you can take your shot if you're like really weak at tight end, just hoping he comes back next week. I don't expect him to be out on the field this week, and if he comes back next week, he's still probably not 100% come next week. So you're really looking at like a week 5 for him to possibly be 100%. I'm not particularly in on Likely, but if you want to take the shot on him, he's super athletic. I get it.
Would you rather roster Mark Andrews or Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram.
Okay.
Though Evan Ingram did pop up on the injury report. Yeah, with it's not even a calf injury this time; it's a back injury now.
It's a back, yeah. I think I'd lean Andrews, and you know how I feel about that. I'm just like so out on him. I don't want any of them, honestly.
Oh no, I agree. I would try to lean out on. I would rather pick up Kate Otten this week over both of them if Abuka doesn't play.
Do you mess around with DeAndre Hopkins or Rashad Bateman for Baltimore?
Not particularly, and I will own up to I am starting DeAndre Hopkins in a deep dynasty league this week. Yeah, I needed the flex guy, and he literally scored a touchdown on both games, so I'm just taking the high upside. I know he's not going to score this week because I'm starting him, but if you have to play him, you have to play him. It's one of those worlds.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, he is scoring, so you'll take that, but he's got, 4 targets on the year?
He has 4 targets, 4 catches.
4 catches for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, you love to see it. I moved on from Bateman in the one league I had him. I think you could drop him.
Reasonable. He's the best ball.
Devontae Walker, he had 2 touchdowns, but that's all he does is catch touchdowns. 3 for 3. Yeah. 3 catches in his career, 3 touchdowns. I'm not even looking his way either. Baltimore's easy. It's Zay Flowers, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Derrick Henry.
Yep. I'm in the
Detroit. Detroit has a little more options. Jared Goff is,
I think
a good play
I
this
think
week.
it's all of them.
Yep. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're not benching him. David Montgomery's the only one I could kind of teeter with. I know Ash, she was in a boat where it was her final flex spot. And it was Devonta Smith or David Montgomery. And it was half PPR.
Give me Montgomery.
That's where I leaned as well. Like initially I was just like, I would never play David Montgomery over Devonta Smith, but then I really thought about it. And I ended up going with Montgomery there. Sam Laporta, my play of the week at tight end. I think you could put him in.
Yeah.
Baltimore's been a little shaky against tight ends. And Amon-Ra, obviously, Jameson Williams, you're going to put him as well. And for Detroit, I'm going to monitor Isaac Tesla's involvement. He was a little bit more involved last week. So I think if he's in again this week and more involved, I think he's worth starting to stash onto your bench.
Yeah, week 1 he played 4% of snaps, and they were all when it was garbage time when they were getting blown out by Green Bay. But week 2 he played in almost 30%, brought in 1 catch, and it was another one-handed beautiful catch. So both his catches are beautiful one-handed catches, and he's a freak athlete. It's what he did in college. He never really broke out or had a crazy year, but he was out there making crazy plays because he's super athletic, and it's the reason they drafted him so high.
Yeah,
before people thought he would get drafted.
Yep. All right. Who walks out Monday night the winner? Very rarely am I excited for a Monday night game. Like I'm actually like stay home and watch it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a good game. I'm pretty excited, but give me Baltimore.
I'm also going to take the Ravens here. All right. Week 3 games in the books. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. We'll do the prospect spotlight. We'll go over. We got our Studleys and our Dudleys, our players of the week and week, WEAK, all that fun stuff on Tuesday. So, Drafted Up Podcast, you know where to find us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. We will catch you guys on Tuesday. Adios.
Hell yeah. Bye.